Tell us a little bit about doing it all day before you go.
It's just subconscious. I mean, like, if I'm not doing it, I don't feel right. And if like a half an hour goes by and I realize, ooh, I didn't do any IMMUNICS, I feel like I got to do it.
Well, you know, this is an interesting thing you're saying here, because you've cured your herpes. You have no, or at least you have no more symptoms of it anyway, or the Epstein-Barr. You have no symptoms of either virus, and now
and it's crazy. Like just I don't know, when was it? Like 4 weeks ago, I had a huge outbreak on my lip, and it's like,
you have.
Oh, and by the way, that went away. In like 2 days.
Yeah, you have. Test this question. Do I have any pathologies in any of my bodies?
Do I have any pathologies in any of my bodies? Wait, let me use my other hand. Georgia, go away, baby. Okay.
So your other hand is your testing hand.
Yeah, this is my test.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people can only test with one of their hands, at least at the beginning. I can, you know, after years, of course, you can choose where the signal comes and what it looks like and everything.
Okay.
Even though it's still completely spontaneous and you don't control it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some times where I'm actually more connected. Like I get more of a response in my hand than normal.
Right.
He's got to be right next to me at all times.
Right.
Okay.
He's a sweetie.
Okay, you ready? Do I have any pathologies in any of my bodies? Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm removing all pathologies from all my bodies.
I am removing all pathologies from all of my bodies. See my hand?
Yeah, okay. All right. I noticed.
Now, let me ask you a question really quick.
I noticed the laugh when you just laughed.
Yeah.
That's another signal, isn't it?
Yes.
That means you actually removed the pathologies. What was the question you wanted to ask?
My fingers, right?
Yeah.
Are like stuck. Now, most of the time when I get a signal, it'll just pop and then go back to normal. But there are times where my fingers get stuck like this. It seems like it's doing like I can release it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a lot stronger and it's like staying in place.
Yeah.
Is it okay for me to just release it, or should I just keep letting it go until it stops?
I think you should let it go till it stops, because then you're continuing to remove pathologies when it's doing that. But you know, and so if you stop it artificially, you may stop the removal.
Okay.
So you won't get all the pathologies out. So it's a good idea to, you know, do it the right way. But you know, sometimes you can stop it, and the pathology removal will probably still continue. So now I want to ask you, what's your routine every day? Do you do this in the morning?
Yeah, I do it as soon as I get up. I check all my organs.
Right. Because you did that's the organ lesson you did, where you learn how to bring your organs back into alignment with you, so that because when people's organs are out, they can't cure their herpes or their cancer or their, you know, fibromyalgia. You have to bring your organs back. So we have lessons on all these things in the web college.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And that's where you find those and do that. Okay. So go ahead. Bring your organs back. What else do you do?
I bring my organs back. I check all my you know, my bodies for pathologies. I also just constantly check myself for like immune dysfunctions, like throughout the day. I also use it to check people's intentions, my intention.
So you're actually testing about how people feel about you and how they're going to relate to you.
Yes.
And have you found that that helps you with dealing with people?
Absolutely.
Could you say a little more about that?
For example, I've discovered through IMMUNICS that a lot of the times when you get upset about something that somebody else did, or something that you did, it's never the reason why you think it is.
Yeah, that's very well put.
What I realize is that when you get upset, when you're upset with somebody for doing something towards you, like in that moment, you get upset.
Yeah.
But what's happening is that you're not really upset about what they just did. You're upset because it triggered something deeper.
Uh-huh.
And what they did reminded you of that situation or that trauma or
yes.
You know, and so what they did is just basically like triggering it.
Yes. And so what you're saying is that you sort of clean yourself out of feelings for people before you talk to them.
Yes.
So you start in the morning, like you reorient yourself with regard to other people, and then when you meet with them, you're empty.
Yes. And
you can bring an empty cup and let them fill it with their with the good stuff.
Yes.
Or you know when somebody is bad and you stay away from them. You know, if somebody's bad for you, you stay away from them.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, Toniann. That is very interesting.
But what I also realized too is that people that I thought that were bad, once I cleared up like a lot of stuff having to do with them and my connection to them, they act differently toward me.
Right.
Yeah. So they're not really bad.
So actually the removals that you do about other people change them.
Yes, absolutely.
Like you notice changes in other people when you do things about them.
Yes, I notice changes in how they respond to me. Like they respond to me from like a higher level of consciousness, like instead of being like defensive or angry, or they respond for me from a different place.
You know, I have to say, like, you're making me think about myself when you're telling me this. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that I think I'm somewhat different than you, because if I don't think somebody is right for me, I don't pay any attention to them at all. But what I do is I don't necessarily do removals, but I link my higher bodies, for example, with you. Mm-hmm. And because I enjoy linking my higher bodies with you.
Oh, that's just simply doing that alone, merging the higher bodies like you taught me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That alone shifts stuff.
Yeah. I know.
It really makes a huge difference.
See, I think I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but it seems to me like I tried to change people I knew a lot more years ago when I first started doing IMMUNICS, and it did work. Like what you're saying, it did work with people. Mm-hmm. But now I just focus on people I like Greg and Franny and you and Angela and, Jay, and I have a bunch of friends, who I like, and I do these with them just because I enjoy it. It just became more of a thing of enjoying myself than of trying to get any kind of result.
Well, I don't know. Like, basically what happened to me a couple weeks ago is that I just sort of realized that, like, if somebody triggers me and, like, I'm sitting there saying, I don't like them, I don't like how they're responding to me or something like that, I feel like it's an opportunity for me to look inside myself and say, why are they triggering me? Because they can be acting like this to somebody else, and that other person doesn't even get bothered by it.
I understand what you're saying better now. I understand it better now. See, nobody triggers me.
Yeah.
There isn't anybody who nobody ever triggers me. So I just choose people who I feel I can get a really big result with.
Okay.
Because nobody's triggering me, so I don't have to work on anybody like that. I don't need to do anything like that.
Oh, I'm still getting triggered.
Well, I used to get triggered back, you know, before I started doing this.
Yeah.
I used to get triggered, and maybe that's why I was doing stuff with like a lot more people who I couldn't really get a big result with them, even if they changed radically.
Yeah.
You know, they just weren't good enough to get a big result.
Yeah.
You know, they were never going to, you know, they had to do that for themselves. Like, they were bootstrap operations. They had to come to the web college and work really hard. And if they did that, then I'd be back to trying to get a big result with them.
Yeah.
Which is what you did. Like, you came to the web college and worked really hard. So I started seeing you as somebody who I could get a big result with. And then I started, you know, like, you know, linking my higher bodies with you because, you know, I enjoyed it because I have gotten a big result with you. Like, you've cured your herpes, right?
Yeah, I have no more pain anywhere. Like, I was getting like really bad pain here.
Uh-huh.
It hasn't bothered me in weeks. And this is the thing, even though I really didn't get outbreaks, I always, every day, I would constantly have like pain all over my throat bone, into my ear.
Yeah, you were having internal herpes outbreaks. I mean, that's what your doctor told you anyway. And also, we tested that herpes was being enabled by the Epstein-Barr virus, and I want you to test it. I cure the Epstein-Barr virus.
Oh, wait. Did I cure the Epstein-Barr virus? Yes.
So you cured both of them. You had to cure both of them because they were cofactors in each other.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My, it's crazy, like, so many people have the Epstein-Barr virus, and they wonder why, like, they're tired and they're not feeling good and they feel run down, but they don't realize that's what it is.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's like a major epidemic.
Yeah, it's a major epidemic, and it's something that's usually undiagnosed.
Yeah, because it's very hard. Yeah, it's very. You have to get tested for antibodies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, now, okay, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to go back to the pathologies which you tested that you've removed all of them, and we're going to probably find, after you've removed them all, that you've still got some, which is what most people find.
Yes.
So even though you've cured your herpes, you're still at risk.
Okay.
So now we're going to go through the
I really, it's crazy. Like, this is like the first time ever that, like, see, what happened is that, let me say it like this. I've had the antibodies for herpes since I was a kid. Never, ever, ever had any issue with it.
Uh-huh.
Then, a couple months ago, I started feeling tired and run down, and that's when it started. Okay, and that's when I found out that I had the Epstein-Barr virus.
Uh-huh.
So I think what happened is that the Epstein-Barr virus triggered it. So, well, I don't know what my point was saying. Oh, I don't know. And whatever it is, I feel better. I don't feel as tired or run down, and I'm not really getting the fevers, because I used to get fevers a lot. I'm not getting them anymore. So.
Okay. Now what we're gonna do is called blind testing.
Okay.
And you cannot see what the person watching this movie can see because I'm not sharing my screen with you. So I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put my cursor on this and I'm going to ask you, is it this one? And test. Do I have this pathology?
Do I have this pathology?
And if you don't get a signal, let me know.
No.
Okay, how about this one?
Do I have this pathology? Nope.
Okay, this one.
Do I have this one? No.
Okay, this one.
Do I have this one? No.
Okay, how about this one?
Do I have this one? No.
And this one?
Do I have this one? No.
Okay, good. Now I'm going to go to the next group of pathologies. These are called held pathologies.
What are they?
They're called held pathologies.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm telling you that much, but I'm not going to tell you what they are. Do you have this one?
Do I have this one? No.
Do I have this one?
Do I have this one? No.
Okay, this one.
This one? Yes.
Okay. All right. What you just tested for was substance excess or deficiency. So now I want you to test. See, now we have to remember that you did this completely psychically.
Okay.
Like, remember the other day you were asking me what I thought of psychics?
Yeah.
And I said, you're psychic?
Yeah.
Well, you're psychic, and that's what it means to be psychic, what you just did. Like, without seeing those, you found one of them. If you weren't channeling it, you wouldn't have been able to get any signal on any of them, or you would have gotten a signal on all of them.
Okay.
Like, there wouldn't have been any variations in your signal since you couldn't see any of them, right?
Yes.
Okay. And there was no tell in my voice, right?
No.
Also, you tested for the pathology that I tested for you. Like,
Can you say that again?
I didn't get a signal on any of the ones you didn't get a signal on.
Okay.
But I did get a signal on one of the other ones that you didn't get a signal on.
Okay.
So I think maybe there was one that you just, for whatever reason.
Well, there was one that my finger moved a little bit. Okay. And I was like, question a little about it.
Okay. Well, we can get into that later, but right now let's do the substance excess or deficiency. Okay. So is it excess? Test.
Is it excess? Wait, hold on. Is it excess? Yes.
Okay, now test, is it deficiency?
Is it deficiency? No.
Okay. So just say I'm now removing all excess substances from myself.
I am now removing all excess substances from myself.
And see if you get a signal on that.
Yeah, the signal.
Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to check further. You found substance excess and you just removed it from all your bodies, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's check. So now let's check some of your bodies.
Okay.
For that substance excess. Do I have any substance excess in my celestial body?
Do I have any substance excess in my celestial body? No.
In my gravitational body?
In my gravitational body? No.
Okay, spiral?
In my spiral body? No.
Etheric?
Etheric? No.
Emotional?
Emotional? No.
Mental?
Mental? No.
Physical?
Physical? Yes.
Okay. I'm now removing all substance excess from my physical body.
I'm now removing all substance excess from my physical body. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. My fingers switching?
Yeah, did it complete yet?
No.
We can let it complete. It's okay.
Okay.
Just let's get it completely out of your physical body. So we've now demonstrated what it's like to check body by body, and also that when, you know, like when you removed your substance excess and you removed all pathologies also, and you got your finger signal, you got a good feeling, you got all the signals that said it was all done, and here it was again. And this is what people have to get used to. This is very hard for new people to get used to. This
you have to check and double check and triple check.
Check and check. First you cure it, then you cure it, right?
Yep.
Yep. First you cure it, then you cure it, then you cure it, then you cure it. And at some point you get a negative medical test along that route, and then you cure it. After your negative medical test, you cure it, and then you cure it again and cure it again. And this woman... There was a woman, Toniann, named Elizabeth, and I don't know if did you ever listen to Elizabeth's cure shows?
No.
Okay, well Elizabeth has cure shows under cytomegalovirus and Epstein-Barr, and I think you should listen to them.
Okay.
One of them is just a message that she left after she got her negative medical test. She got a negative medical test on 4 incurable viral-based diseases about 10 days after she started doing this.
Wow.
And the diseases were cytomegalovirus, Epstein-Barr virus, and herpes simplex viruses 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So, when this woman...
Let me ask you a question. There's like 8 different herpes viruses, right?
Yeah. And this woman did a cure show. When she did her first cure show, she was a wreck. I mean, she was sick. You know, this wasn't just a medical test that said she had these viruses. She was very ill. And all of that cleared up.
Amazing.
All her symptoms cleared up, and then she got her negative medical test, and then she kept, you know, curing it.
Yeah.
After the medical test, a year later, she went back just to make sure and got another negative medical test on those viruses and on, you know, I mean, it's a general test.
Well, because according to medical science, once you have a virus, you can never get rid of it.
Yeah, which is why when they gave her negative medical test, they wrote previous exposure on the document.
Yeah.
That's what they write. They don't write your virus. Doctors do not say, you're cured, cured, do you understand? Cured. Especially if they don't have a cure.
You know, and the thing is to make note too is that people don't realize that we're exposed to viruses all the time.
Yes.
And if your body keeps building up and building up and building up with all these viruses, you're going to develop disease.
Yes.
And, you know, cancer, you know, all these, they're even saying that there's like heart problems are related to viruses now.
Yeah, they are. So,
and even like they're even saying that Alzheimer's disease is linked to herpes 1 and 2.
Yes, that's right.
And 80% of the population has at least herpes 1.
That's right.
And, you know, a lot of people have to realize that you gotta get rid of this stuff if you want to stay healthy.
That is well put, Toniann. Well put. Well, now let's go on with this. Let me see what I have next for you. Your father may have to wait just a few minutes. We won't be that long, though.
Okay.
But let me just see what the next... I just want to make sure we're being thorough about this. What I want you to do now, okay? Ready? Get ready?
Yes.
Ready to test. Okay. Now just say, my physical body is free of substance excess. And see if you get a signal.
Is my physical body free of substance excess? Yes.
Now let's make it as a statement. My physical body is free of substance excess.
My physical body is free of substance excess. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, another thing is we probably ought to understand, like you don't have any more herpes symptoms or Epstein-Barr symptoms. What we need to understand is if you had left this pathology, the substance excess, in place, that could regenerate the herpes.
Yes.
You know, it could cause you to fall back into it or recontract it from a, you know, a doorknob or whatever. Okay, now let's look at the next thing.
Yeah, my cousin is well, she's not really a cousin, but she's a microbiologist.
Right.
And she said that they don't tell the public, but like a lot of people are starting to pick up like herpes and like all these different things from like public places.
Right.
Like tanning salons, bathrooms. It's crazy.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And, you know, even though I removed it, I probably haven't done enough IMMUNICS to the point where, like, I can't reinfect myself.
Right.
So I have to be careful. I keep vigilant over it.
Now, okay, let's go back to, remember when you said your finger moved on another pathology a little bit?
Yes.
Test this question, was it scarring?
Was it scarring? Yes.
Okay, mine moved there too. So now we're going to do the same thing we did with the substance excess with scarring, which is another pathology.
Can you say what scarring is again?
Well, we don't exactly know what it is, but one thing we do know is that scarring is a big factor in diseases like multiple sclerosis and singular sclerosis and ALS and, you know, those kinds of diseases. The scarring is the thing that destroys the person from the disease produces scarring. But also, so do things like trauma. Like you can have scarring in any body. Yeah. And trauma would produce scarring in the gravitational.
That's what I was thinking it was.
Uh-huh. Spiral body, gravitational body could very easily get scarred. In fact, you could actually say, technically speaking, that any past life trauma is simply a scarring of the gravitational spiral karmic bodies. Okay. So when you're removing trauma, you're removing scarring, and so there's probably many different kinds of scarring. Okay, so now first I'm removing scarring from all my bodies.
I'm removing scarring from all of my bodies.
All scarring from all my bodies, and when you get a signal, look for a change.
Yeah, I'm getting a signal, it's still going.
Okay, look for a change in how you feel. You know, with a lot of these things, you want to get another confirming signal by your feeling changing slightly. Yeah. Or maybe more than slightly. You know, did the way you feel change?
The thing is that it's hard for me to tell because immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as I start doing IMMUNICS, I feel different.
Right.
So, as soon as I start doing IMMUNICS, like, what am I have to go to that clear cough, please?
Yeah. So you're always feeling somewhat different than you were before.
Yeah.
But so this is really all about paying attention to these very subtle changes and gradations of different kinds of, you know, changes in your feelings. You know, we'll just go on to the next thing, okay? So you now removed it from all your bodies. So now we'll check, do I have any scarring in my celestial body?
Do I have any scarring in my celestial body? No.
Your gravitational body?
Your gravitational body? No.
Now that doesn't mean there isn't any there. It means for this session, picking it up might not be relevant or whatever. So a lot of times when we test everything's okay, it just means for the thing that we're working with, it's okay. How about the spiral body?
The spiral body. I got a little twinge.
All right, I'm removing all scarring from my spiral body.
I am removing all scarring from my spiral body. Okay.
Can you feel your spiral body?
No.
Well, you want to like look around for something that might be your spiral body in non-physical space, and if you notice anything out there, you can just test, is that my spiral body? And that's how you start feeling it. That's the way you start feeling it. You just look you look around for it. Because you are not your 12 bodies. You are not your physical body either.
Okay.
So you can look at your physical body and test, like, is that my liver, is that my gallbladder, you know, and you can get just the same way you get a signal on that. Because you are not your liver or your gallbladder, you're Toniann.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
That would be very disturbing to look at you and see a liver. A large, gigantic liver. Anyway, so we have, okay, so, and you notice we have not gone through all of your bodies with any of these pathologies.
No.
Like, you probably still want to do the rest of the bodies for substance excess.
Okay.
You know, and for this, and so, but I can stop with you here. This is good, and you can go be with your father. Just remember to take this up later.
Okay.
See, you were saying, like, you do this all day, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that before you go.
What happened?
Tell us a little bit about doing it all day before you go.
It's just subconscious. I mean, like, if I'm not doing it, I don't feel right. And if like a half an hour goes by and I realize, ooh, I didn't do any IMMUNICS, I feel like I got to do it.
Well, you know, this is an interesting thing you're saying here, because you've cured your herpes. You have no, or at least you have no more symptoms of it anyway, or the Epstein-Barr. You have no symptoms of either virus, and now
it's crazy. Like just I don't know, when was it? Like 4 weeks ago, I had a huge outbreak on my lip, and it's like.
You have.
Oh, and by the way, that went away. In like 2 days.
Yeah, you have control now, and at the same time, what you've discovered is, if you're not doing this, you don't feel good.
No. And the only other time I ever had an outbreak on my lip was right around the time I started doing IMMUNICS.
Right.
And that lasted 2 weeks.
Wow. So when you first started doing IMMUNICS, it got worse.
No, well, what happens is when I first started doing IMMUNICS is when I was really sick. That's when I found out I had the Epstein-Barr virus.
Oh, that's how that sort of drove you to doing IMMUNICS.
Yeah. And I have a suspicion that I got it because I shared a shore house on the shore with like 8 people. And one of the other people in my house got sick, too. And I think that like a couple weeks later, I wound up getting sick. And then I started getting run down, and I felt, you know, like I had the flu all the time. I can't explain it.
Right.
And then 2 weeks after that happened is when I got my first outbreak on my lip.
Well, it seems to me.
And it lasted like, probably even more than 2 weeks.
See, this is why you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I mean.
Because now that the herpes is gone, you still discover that you don't feel good unless you do this.
Yeah.
Like you actually.
Well, because all day long we're constantly coming in contact with viruses and stuff that we pick up.
Well, also you're coming in contact with emotions.
Yes, emotions, traumas.
And you also have an awful lot of things to cure that weren't related to herpes, but were related to feeling bad.
Yeah.
Or just not feeling good, not feeling the way you want to feel now. See, now you've learned what it is to feel. Maybe you never knew what it was to feel good before you started doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that.
Because you always thought you felt great.
Yeah.
You didn't know that wasn't, you know, the best you could ever feel.
Yeah.
I mean, it did feel good. You know, it was good. For what it was good back then, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, it's amazing. I just and I've been into alternative medicine and healing energy and healing work for 10 years now.
Yeah, you're a Reiki practitioner, right?
Yeah. So this is by far.
And you're a certified life coach.
Yes.
Maybe you'll start coaching people and curing things.
I would love to.
Yeah, well, that would be good. All right, so this is good for today. Area code 813-672-3419. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.